My name is Edivaldo Ernesto, and I'm from Mozambique, Maputo, the city. It's called Depth and Movement, and it's in improvisation strategies. It comes from all the work that I've been doing. I had a formation in the traditional dances from Mozambique and also traditional dances from West Africa. I did a couple of martial arts. I did a bit of taekwondo and judo. I also played a lot football. And all this comes together, plus the work that I've learned from David Zambrano. And then the work that I also learned from Sasha Valls. So all this come together and kind of like form this depth movement. And what is inside is pretty much the idea. Anytime that you enter in the studio, you approach whatever you do it like you're performing. And so we work a lot with the precision in the movements so that any movement that we do, it's very clear where we're starting and where we're finishing. We work also with rhythms, different rhythms, which I relate also to the traditional dances, and I also relate with, to the work that I learned from Zambrano and also with Sasha, which are three different worlds. So we move very fast. We move slow. We move with the medium tempo. We apply the rhythms of the legs from the traditional dances. We apply rhythms from the work of Zambrano, the flying low and the passing through, which the dancers in Venezuela, South America, and also the classic dances, that Sasha Valls likes to kind of like integrate in her work. So all these come and form this. So it's kind of like a mix-up of a lot of backgrounds in forming something that it's not a copy, but it's a step forward. That's how I would describe it in general. What inspires me is traveling through all these countries. I can understand different cultures, and by understanding that, it makes me even want to share more the other side of the culture to that culture. You see, arriving in Brussels and presenting that culture and then also receiving, I find it's almost like there is this circle of exchange, and a healthy one. Pretty much that you feel like, okay, you're there, audience observing. They want to listen, they want to watch, and you say, okay, you're giving your attention, and I'm going to offer what I have from this side. And that's really inspired to know that people also are interested in coming to the venues and to the workshops and so on. I like that there are so many questions nowadays in dance, and that's what makes me want to stay in it or continue doing it. And from the moment that questions come in, I think we progress, we evolve. And I think, without those questions, I think we would just continue doing what the other great artists have discovered. And so now I see it from many different places or perspectives as well, that we are questioning this. Is this still something we want to do? Or can we continue doing? And how can we change it? How can we make it, how can we take it to the next level? And so on. So that also it's kind of like, it calls you to be part of this, moment of let's say, evolution. I've never entered on stage, really like, I really got everything. I've got it. It's easy. I always enter like, okay, here we go again, another adventure, and let's see how this is going to go. And what I like also is that when something unexpected happens, it makes me become even more alive. And so one thing that I enjoy the most is how I managed to fix that thing. And I remember this show, I was performing this solo I Can't Breathe in Italy at Roma Europa Festival. And it was really a huge stage. And the venue, it's one of those venues where like you have more than 2,000 people or about that. Really big. And the stage also massive. So I saw the stage and I had to do a 15-minute solo. 18 minutes, something like that. And I was scared. I said, this stage is big, it's huge. And for one person, this is gonna be complicated, Edivaldo. So how are we gonna do this? So I remember I entered on stage and I started improvising, start to learn the stage and start to map it. And the more I was trying to map, like really kind of like, okay, this song, this works, this works, this works. I realized how difficult it will be when the audience comes, because of course you have that extra, excitement or pressure and so on. And I entered on stage and the show was running and I was like, okay, what I will do right now is to share what I'm feeling in here with the audience. My struggling, they're gonna get it as well. So that's one thing that, I always, feel it, and I just try to find a way to play with it or use it in the way that also helps the whole show. And eventually the audience was very happy, to see the show and also to receive maybe that struggle. And they're like, whoa, yeah, we were with you the whole time. More straightforward, we have to practice. We really have to practice. We can write a lot about it, we can talk about it, but we should not forget the practice. One thing that it scares me is that we write very good projects and eventually we get support, we get money to make the project. But because the practice is quite compressed, it's limited. The product that we come up with sometimes is not really at a top level. There are amazing choreographers also that they do brilliant works. Now, those choreographers, they have their houses, they have their venues, they have co-productions. They are good. But for us, young choreographers, what we write, we should put that, in the product. Because otherwise, we write very good, we get support. Then whenever we release the product and it's not in the same quality as the writing, we're gonna get cut. So therefore, even to myself, I tell, go to the studio and practice. Practice making choreography, practice making composition, practice creating vocabulary, practice this, practice that. So that, whenever we write it and then we get a chance to create something more complete, we're ready. So I think we really need to practice. Now we can practice the writing, we can practice physicality, we can practice choreography, etc. And my message is, let's practice. Whatever it is that you are busy with in that moment, really practice.